For today's lesson, we're going to review for the Unit 6 Systems of Equations and Inequalities test. Your lesson preview, I'm reminding you that f of -2 is notation to tell you to substitute for your x value. So f of -2 should equal the quantity, used parentheses when substituting, of -2 cubed minus 3 times -2 plus 4 divided by -2 minus 2. Simplify the numerator, get an answer. Simplify your denominator, get an answer. And then you can simplify your ratio. As you look at f at -1 and f at 2, one of these does not exist. Can you figure out which one? To determine g of -2, g of -1, and g of 2, I'm going to follow similar ideas. If I take g of -1 and substitute it, we're going to get 3 times the absolute value, 4 minus 2 times -1. Follow the order of operations. We have 3 times the absolute value of 4 plus 2, and that gives us 3 times 6, which is 18. Once you finish all of these problems, determine which inequality sign would work best. Is it greater than or equal to? Is it less than or equal to? Is it just greater than? Is it just less than? Fill in the correct inequality. So you should be able to solve systems using graphic, substitution, elimination. You should know whether systems are inconsistent, consistent, or dependent. Recognize whether the systems are parallel, have one solution, or an infinitely many solutions. You should also be able to set up and solve word problems. For the next question, let's see how many solutions there are without actually trying to solve it. Well, we're going to just set it up. We're going to multiply this first equation by 2 so that we could eliminate the x's if we chose to. And as you look at your problem, notice everything on the left will eliminate, but everything on the right does not. So this one has no solution. And the reason it's no solution is because your system is parallel. So for this problem, we could not eliminate both the x's and y's. You're going to get an answer. So this one has one solution. And if it has one solution, they intersect once. And that makes it a consistent equation. Go ahead, solve numbers 3 and 4. For each of these problems, you get to choose the way you want to solve. I suggest for number 5, you multiply by -1. That will change your equation. So you have x minus 5y equals -3y. -3x plus 5y is equal to -11. Now the y's will eliminate. -2x is -14. So your x must be 7. And if x is 7, you can substitute x minus 5y equals -3 and come up with y is equal to 2. In which case, we have a set of ordered pairs. 7, 2 is your solution. Now, it is a choice. You can rearrange this first equation or divide by 3. I'm thinking you do not enjoy fractions, so I'm going to subtract my x, add 3y, and set it equal to 5. So I'm rearranging my equation. After that, perhaps you're going to multiply the second equation by -3. It is a choice. You get to choose how to solve each problem, unless the directions are very specific. Solve by graphing. When x is 0, y is 5. When y is 0, x is -2.5. Draw your line. So use the intercepts. When x is 0, y is 1. When y is 0, x is 1. And now we're going to figure out where these cross. It looks like our solution should be -1, 2. Let's look at question number 8. Number 8 involves some shading. When x is 0, y is -2. When y is 0, x is going to be 3. We have an equal sign, so let's draw a straight line through those 2 points. If we test is 0 minus 0 bigger than 6, the answer of course is no. So we're going to shade everything below our axis. So now we're below the axis. A system is where both equations are going to be true. So now let's look at f of x is less than or equal to 2x plus 1. The y-intercept is 1, up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1. Since there is an equal sign, we're going to connect these dots. There we go. Use a test point. Is 0 less than or equal to 0? plus 1. Now that one is true. So the solution is going to be on the same side as our 0, 0. And that tells us we are over here. Now the answer to the entire system is going to be the solution that is true for both. And that happens where my blue lines overlap my red lines. So let's look at writing and solving systems of equations. For this one, Carrie and Dave are renting the same size moving truck. Well, that's helpful. So if they have the same size moving truck, they're going to pay a fee for X dollars for the truck and Y dollars for the miles that they drive. So we have Carrie drives 150 miles and pays $215. So Carrie has to pay X dollars plus $150 for each mile that she drives, and she paid $215. Whereas Dave had to pay the X plus that 120 miles that he drove, and that cost was $176. Now again, it's your choice how to solve. For this one, I'm going to suggest elimination. Number 10, one of my favorite ones, we have perimeter is 58. So you should probably draw a rectangle. On your rectangle, let's label the length L and the width W. Perimeter is 2L plus 2W, and that's going to have to equal 58. Now we want to see that the length L is 1 more than 3 times the width. So with this setup, I bet you could solve it using substitution. Make certain that you get some practice in and prepare for your test.